What's up, guys? So in this video I am here to break down the difference in military dogs. Everybody thinks just because it's a military dog that it is on the same level as every other military dog. No. As you can see, there is multiple pictures in this still frame, right? So I'm going to address what they are. Let's start by the red dot photo. It's Air Force. Most dogs that are in the military program, not all but most, come through the Air Force Canine program. It's like basic training for all canines. They come through this program to get rated on technical placement, not technical efficiency, not technical usage or anything, but technical things that are taught. That's what they get rated on. And they aren't taught technical things. They are taught basically the same thing you would see in Schützen, pretty much the basics, how to bite, and that's it. They taught the bite. They're not taught anything more advanced than that. Now when you move over to, let's say, the green dot, that dog is a military police dog. That dog has more technical training when it comes to certain things like apprehension and nose work with narcotics or explosives, depending on if it's a combat MP unit or a garrison MP unit. So the training there is dramatic because in the Air Force, the red dot, they train only the bite. They don't care what the bite is as long as the dog bites. Once you move over to the MP section, they get more technical with the bite. It's to engage more efficiency, but they still let the dog bite wherever because the way that they train, they always go with either the handler or multiple officers in the agency, the department, the unit, the team, whatever it may be. They go in force, so the dog doesn't really have to have too much independency and technical proficiency to operate on its own. Now when you move up to the yellow dot, notice this combat patch. His special operations. When you move from the MP into, let's start with basic infantry first before we go into special forces, because special forces even get a lot more training than the infantry, and the infantry get a lot more training than MPs, so we can't skip that gap, right? So the difference between MPs and infantry dogs is MP dogs, military police dogs, don't necessarily have to have specific skills for technical units, such as the dogs don't have to have waterborne operations. They don't have to have special watercraft operation training. They don't have to have air research training. They don't have to have airborne training. They don't have to have scout training, recon training, whatever it may be, to be able to fit into the unit that they are going into. Most units in the infantry now have the TED program, and it is Technical Explosive Detection Dogs. That's what TED stands for. And what it does is take regular MP and Air Force canines that are basically just trained for detection nose work, because that's what the dog needs to know in order to operate at the basic, because that's what that dog is needed for overseas, basically, is nose work, the basic thing. It doesn't have to have anything else as long as it can sniff bombs, because 98% of our dogs are nose dogs. They are detection dogs for bombs and other such things in that area. They don't really do apprehension. When you move to the MP side, they might do a little bit of apprehension, but most of the apprehension is actually garrison, because they act like regular police dogs. Overseas, they act more like nose dogs, bomb dogs. That is a technical difference between the two. So when you move to infantry, the TED program, the T in that stands for technical. And what makes it technical is the dog not only apprehends, and it doesn't only do explosive nose work, it does more technical stuff like being able to repair the helicopters, being able to do boat operations, being able to do airborne missions. So that's why that program exists, because the MPs in the Air Force don't provide that type of training. They don't have the capabilities because they're not infantry units. The reason it works in the infantry and other units is because they are infantry soldiers before they are canines. These guys in the Air Force and the MP are dog trainers that are trying to play high-speed operators. They're not. Anything with the infantry and above is operators who just happen to have a dog. That's the difference. Operational proficiency and effectiveness and technical advancement is key before they even get the dog. And then they just put that in the dog. The Air Force looks at dogs as instruments, tools. It's something to get the job done. MPs look at it as a tool as well. Once you get into the infantry side and up, they start looking at them as, yeah, it's a tool, but it's also now a member of the team. When you get into the yellow dot, the special operations dot, then it is an operator. You look at it 100% as an operator. It's no longer a canine, a dog, a tool. It's an operator. It can do anything that the operator can do, with exception because it doesn't have thumbs. Now let's move into the black. What makes the black different than the yellow? Because special forces, even in the special forces community, have tier levels. The black is a tier 1 dog. That is a Navy SEAL Team 6 dog, if I remember correctly. I know the blue one is. The black one I think is as well. Don't quite quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure that's what I remember reading about this dog. But anyway, if it is or not, just for the sake of this video, let's say that this dog represents a tier 1 level Navy SEAL 6 dog, right? What makes it different than regular special forces is because regular special forces dog, their training, yes, is advanced as far as airborne, but they don't get Halo or anything like that. They don't get submergible training to be able to go in submarines. They don't get other type of training that is specific for Navy SEAL Team 6 or Delta Force or CIA, FBI special teams, counter-terrorist units. That is the difference. Any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to drop them below. Until next time.